And is there any connection between Mount Shasta, Mount Kenya, and the Uluru Formation in Australia? I was told that there are crystals beneath the Uluru, and these were activated several years ago.
So remember, Uluru is a gift from outside of our timeline, and as an entire mountain, it descended onto Australia, and it buried itself deep into the landscape. So it's not from here. It's not native, if you will. It's not indigenous. It is something that the indigenous people of Australia, the Aborigines, brought through. And they're incredibly unique people unto themselves. The Aboriginal people have DNA that is not present in any other culture in the world, any other race. Everybody else on the place, you can find mitochondrial DNA through the female line, through the feminine line, that connects everybody as being the same racial species, if you will, not the Aboriginal people. They are the original keepers and the guardians of the source timeline. They have always held that timeline steady here in manifestation on the earth. It's changing now. They've finished their work, and the elders within their society, they are moving into a higher frequency plane. And now others are not necessarily geographically located in Australia. Now others around the world are taking up the banner of holding that timeline steady, so that there's always beings fully holding that timeline, direct connection to source consciously, and maintaining it always. So when I first went to Mount Kenya, and if you've looked at our website, there's a very large diamond that is present on everywhere. So the Katuyu people, the Katuyu seers, have always spoken that there was a star just off dimension from here that was emitting radiation, and that radiation, its sole purpose was to help evolve human beings. While I was in Kenya, and just before being initiated, that star became visible, and it moved into this dimension. And the very first thing that I saw is that star is, in essence, Mount Kenya. But immediately there was this influx of energy into the ancient grid that used to exist before humans distorted it. And it began to undergo, shall we say, a rebirth or a reemergence. The very first thing that happened is that it connected to Mount Shasta. And from there, then the grid just kind of like an electrical grid. It went out and connected to all of the really, really big mountains. The really big mountains are receivers, antennae, if you will, that receive all of the energy coming from our cosmos, from throughout the universe, from our local sun. And just like a power grid, they step that energy frequency down, so that just like a power grid, it doesn't reach the human beings and blow their nervous systems to pieces. But this is happening everywhere. I've had dreams of being on Mount Kenya and finding a specific spot. And when I'm in that spot, I can see through a portal directly, and I can see what is behind me. I can see Mount Kiranaga. And if you go like this, it disappears. And if you come back, you can see it. So it's a fairly narrow portal, but there's a lot of energy that moves through it. Mm. So yes, all three of these are definitely connected, along with a lot of other sites. And at the same time, we're moving into something new. And what that means is our association, our understanding, our comprehension of what a sacred site is changing. It's going to evolve into something new.